Good evening, I'm Alex, and welcome back to America Headlines. Tonight, we bring you an exclusive deep dive into Justice Amy Coney Barrett's very first television interview since joining the Supreme Court nearly 5 years ago. Justice Barrett, who stepped into the role after the passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg in 2020, is finally opening up. Not just about her journey from professor to one of the nation's top judges, but also about the challenges, the controversies, and the landmark decisions that have shaped her time on the bench. Amy Coney Barrett, now 53 years old and a mother of 7, was nominated by former President Donald Trump in the final months of his term. Her confirmation, which took place just days before the 2020 election, sparked heated debates across Washington. Supporters praised her sharp legal mind, her strong background in constitutional law, and her calm, steady presence. Critics, however, worried that her appointment might shift the balance of the court for decades. In this rare interview, Barrett set the record straight. She explained that she doesn't define herself as leaning left or right. Instead, she views her role as simply applying the law to each case as it comes before her. When asked directly whether the Supreme Court has shifted to the right under her watch, Barrett was clear. "I think shifting to the right, or shifting to the left, those are other people's labels. I just decide the cases as they come. And frankly, I've been criticized by both the right and the left." This reflects her effort to present herself as an independent justice in a highly divided political climate. Barrett has always emphasized judicial restraint, the belief that judges should interpret the law, not create it. Of course, no conversation about Barrett is complete without mentioning some of the court's most impactful decisions in recent years. One of the most controversial was the 2022 ruling in Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization, which overturned Roe v. Wade. This decision sparked nationwide debate and brought the court into the center of America's cultural divide. Barrett clarified her view, saying, "Dobbs did not make these issues illegal. Dobbs said that these are questions left to the states." Her framing highlights her belief that the court's role is not to set policy, but to return certain questions to elected state leaders. Outside of the courtroom, Barrett gave a glimpse into her personal journey. She admitted the past 5 years have not been easy. In her words, "I'm happiest with old friends who knew me before I became Justice Barrett." This rare moment of candor humanizes her, showing that behind the robe is someone navigating the same struggles of balance and belonging as any other American. Her new book, Listening to the Law, released on September 9th, blends her legal philosophy with personal reflection. It's already generating buzz, not only for its constitutional insights, but also for the window it provides into her private life. Another hot-button issue raised in the interview was how the court handles executive orders and emergency docket cases. Her response was firm. "It's not our job to form a political view. Our job is to decide these legal questions." Again, her answer reflects her philosophy of restraint, reminding the public that the judiciary is not meant to act as a political branch of government. Now let's pause and consider why this interview is so significant. For nearly 5 years, Barrett has remained mostly silent outside of her written opinions. In a time when every court decision is immediately labeled as a partisan victory or loss, her decision to speak publicly sends a powerful message. She wants Americans to see her not as a political figure, but as a judge committed to her oath of office. Whether people believe that or not, the effort to show transparency is itself notable. Looking forward, Justice Barrett is likely to remain a central figure in American law for decades. At just 53 years old, she could influence the Supreme Court for another 30 years or more. The cases that come before her, from questions of free speech to executive authority to election rules, will continue shaping American society. And as this interview demonstrates, Barrett wants the American people to know she takes that responsibility very seriously. Justice Amy Coney Barrett's first televised interview wasn't just about defending her record. It was about reminding Americans of her judicial philosophy, her independence, and her humanity. Her journey, from Notre Dame professor to one of the most powerful women in American law, is historic. Her voice, careful and measured, will echo in the Supreme Court for decades to come. That's our special report for tonight. Stay with America Headlines for continuing coverage of the Supreme Court, the justices, and the impact of their rulings on everyday Americans. Thank you for watching. I'm Alex. Good night.